What's up guys, Gurnder Gamer 15 here, and today we'll be teaching you the best way to dominate Conclave. I will be showing you the best weapons, the best Warframes, and all around the best combinations to use. Okay, let's start with the best weapons. For primary, in order to dominate Conclave, you will need a primary weapon that has a good fire rate. I recommend something like the Braden Prime and the Soma Prime, because those weapons have the highest rate of fire. I also recommend any shotgun weapon. Mostly the shotguns I'd say that are the best for Conclave would be either the Boar Prime or the Tiger's Prime. Tiger's Prime, of course, does the most damage out of any weapon on the game, so you should be able to one-shot or two-shot people in Conclave, and it should be fairly easy. And with the Boar Prime, because it does significant damage and has a good fire rate, it does a lot of damage as well, and that should get you a significant amount of kills if you use it in Conclave. Okay, for secondary, I recommend either a very powerful pistol or a pistol that's fairly powerful but has a good fire rate. A good weapon to use would be, I get the Dex Fierce would suffice, because it does good-ish damage, but it has a high fire rate, so it would be good for Conclave. I really recommend the Stiletto Prime, because its fire rate is crazy as well, and it does a lot of damage. But I also recommend the Lex Prime or the Lex Prime, because both the weapons, even though they don't have a good fire rate, they do a lot of damage, and each shot is fairly powerful. Now let's move on to melees. The melees I don't recommend are any heavy weapons, any kind of heavy swords or heavy hammers or anything, because since Conclave takes off all of your regular mods, they would not be useful because they don't do enough melee speed or attack speed. Because even though they have powerful attacks, the melee speed will get you killed because you can't attack fast enough. So for this, I recommend a Skana, I'd say, or Dragon Nakana, or any of the Nakanas, as a matter of fact, because they do fairly good attack speed and they have a lot of damage within each swing. Something else that would be good is something with a lot of attack speed, which would include the Torpedo and the Nami Skylar Prime, because even without Fury mods, they have insane attack speed that will make up for any not damage. Okay, let's move on to the best Warframes. For Warframes, I'd say any Warframe would be good as long as it has a very powerful fort ability. Now, when I say very powerful, I mean very useful. I would not recommend bringing, let's say, a Limbo or a Rhino, as a matter of fact, because for one, the Stomp doesn't freeze you in place in Conclave, and it doesn't do that much damage as your strength mods are taking out of the Warframe. One thing that I like to use is the Ash Prime. The Blade Storm does, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, it knocks down an opponent, so that will stun your opponents for a while, leaving them very vulnerable to your attacks. So that's what I like to use. That's why I use Warframe. The best Warframe I'd say for this would probably be Valkyr Prime and regular Valkyr. I say Valkyr Prime and regular Valkyr because, for one, Valkyr's Hysteria, her fourth ability, does insane damage, and even if you don't hit the opponent that you're trying to hit, the claws will latch onto the enemy and allow you to follow them wherever they go, and it's kind of like you're stuck to them like glue. And as long as you have enough energy, you'll be able to kill them before they are able to escape the Hysteria. And I also recommend her for her first ability, which is the Rip Line, which it doesn't do that much damage, but it knocks your opponents down and makes them easily vulnerable to your attacks. Cause and effect. And those are my recommendations for Conclave. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the video, but this is my opinion on the best way to dominate Conclave.
You lead the pack, Tenno. You are at the head of the pack. You have the most oro. You lead the pack, Tenno. Annihilate 5 more oro to win the match. You are at the head of the pack. You are leading the annihilation. One minute remains. All others follow behind you. Seconds. 10 seconds remain. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have won this annihilation. Even in victory, you must ask yourself, are you truly ready for what lies ahead?